Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of Minecraft. Today we are going to be doing, today we're going to be doing a building episode. I had a couple of builds in mind that I wanted to do, and I realized that I had something else I needed to do first in order for that to really be able to work out. Because a couple of the building projects I've got in mind require a lot of materials that are going to require a lot of smelting. And so today we are going to be building my rendition of an auto furnace. And there's a lot of examples of auto furnaces out there. This one, as I mentioned before, I like to do unique stuff on my channel. I don't really want to just replicate what somebody else has done. So I've spent a decent amount of time in my video game time designing what we're going to be working on today, and so I hope you guys will like it. It's, you know, admittedly not going to be the most efficient or best designed system, but it accomplishes everything I wanted to do, and so I think that I'm pretty proud of it. Hopefully you guys will find today to be an interesting episode. And so we've got to figure out, well, we don't have to figure out, we've got to get over to where I've started. I haven't built anything, but I cleared out a space for us. I'm building it in the Nether because the system I've developed here is based off of a system that I've seen other people use, which utilizes lava buckets as the fuel for smelting. Lava is the best fuel source in this game. You can smelt 100 blocks with a single bucket of lava. And so in order to make ease of access for lava for this system, I decided I was going to put it in the Nether so that when we run out, we can just run and grab some. We've looked at my Nether before, and it's kind of a mess. Near my entrance, there's really no good access point to a pool of lava, and so putting it in the overworld and then having to run around trying to find lava while I'm smelting things isn't really a desirable thing for me. So I figured, you know, it's been a while since we've been here in the Nether, and wouldn't it be fun to do a little building project here instead of just doing something else on the overworld. So I found this cool little cove, we're coming up on it now, where I've cleared out a ton of space, which took a little bit of time, but it was well worth it. We actually are going to need some netherrack for one of our building projects here. So I found this little spot here. Our fortress is a little bit that way. We followed the same path here, so I'll be putting in a more permanent entrance and stuff for this. But this is a little over halfway between the fortress and I got shot at by a gas last time I came out here, so knocked some of this gravel off. So we're pretty close to that, and that's actually factoring in partially to this position, and we'll get into that. But basically, I wanted to put this here. It was the best place I found for what I wanted to do. My Nether's such a mess that finding a place that was in a mountain or something that was big enough for what I wanted to do was pretty difficult. This is the best place I found, and it happens to be close enough to the fortress so that I can stand at one of my blaze spawners and let those guys rack up while still in range enough for this to continue cooking. So that's pretty exciting. That means, well, this is doing mass smelting. We're going to be able to continue on doing something productive, you know, gathering blaze rods or experience or fighting wither skeletons at the fortress or just something else. So that's pretty convenient. So I want to get going here. Let me dump some of this stuff off. And actually, now that we're inside, we don't need these potions. I meant to throw those on at the beginning there. Alright, so let's throw this in there for now. This is pretty resource intensive. So, you know, obviously you guys have to gauge whether or not it's worth it. I had to gather some quartz for some of this to build some of these comparators, as well as some design details in regards to this project. But basically what we're going to do, I'm going to lay out the basic skeleton of this, and then I will go through with you guys and show you really the inner workings of this. So basically we've got a chest here. This chest is going to be the repository for everything we smelt. These two hoppers feed into the chest, and then 1, 2, 3. These 3 hoppers feed into this hopper, which feeds into the chest. There we go. So this system uses 8 furnaces. I like to, even in the overworld, I like to have 8 furnaces so I can break down a single stack into an amount. So a single stack breaks down into, it's 64. With 8 furnaces, I can put 8 items in each furnace, which helps speed up the process. And 8 items is the amount that a single chunk of coal will do. So I can use 1 piece of coal in each furnace and then crank out a chunk. Or a stack. So I like to do that just anyway. And I found a couple of good designs that use 8 furnaces. And so I've adapted. Again, I've looked at numerous designs. I'm not the greatest redstone guru, so I couldn't come up with this completely on my own. But I looked at a number of different designs and figured out, which one would work best for what I needed to do. So this is a unique design, but I didn't come up with it out of thin air, obviously. And some of the more notable ones that I took inspiration from, I'll put in the credits. Some of the things I needed to look at to figure out, but basically what an auto furnace does is as opposed to me coming here and clicking on this, and I don't really have any fuel or things to smelt, but so say I've got a stack of cobble I want to do, throw a stack in here, throw 8 coal in here, it cooks, I have to come back, click this again, pick up my stuff. What we can now do with hoppers, as well as some of this other stuff, comparators, and, well, really hoppers and comparators are the new biggest things that make this possible. We can put what we want to smelt in a hopper and put our fuel in another hopper, and so I can fill this hopper up with blocks to smelt. So let's, I cleared out this giant area. I need nether brick for one of my next projects. So conveniently, I'd figured, well, we'll build it in the nether. We'll get, a ton of netherrack, which will allow us to, I need to gather a ton of netherrack anyway. And so it kind of works out. I don't actually have any blocks on me. Let me grab a stack of dirt here real quick. So, we'll put all our netherrack in, they'll feed into these hoppers, which will feed into the furnaces. And then we'll put, since we're using lava buckets, we'll put all our lava buckets in here, and those will feed into the furnaces. So as the furnace cooks, well, here, let's do an example really quick before we get too far into this, so you guys can just, in case you're not really aware. Let's see, I'm going to use coal because I don't really want it cooking for too long. And actually, let's do this iron ore. That'll be perfect. So I'm going to do... Let's do a half stack of iron ore. Actually, we'll do 16. That'll be better. And then we only need 2 coal for 16. So what we'll do is on, this furnace, and let me go around back here. So I will put 2 coal in this hopper, and I'll put 16 iron in this hopper. So you see the room lit up, the furnace is going, the coal feeds in, the resources feed in, and then so instead of me having to pick it up here, once it's done, it filters into this hopper and into this chest. So all of these will filter into this chest when they're done, so I can dump, chests worth of stuff into this and just let it run. And so that's what we're going to do. Just wanted to illustrate that in case any of you were confused on how that worked, the mechanics of hoppers and everything. And obviously a better example would have been to do a ton of stuff that fed in pretty quickly, but you guys get the gist. So let's actually do need a step up here, and then need a hopper there and a hopper here. I'm gonna do kind of similar. Yeah, that's right. That's what I want to do. I've got just the amount that I need for everything. Actually, I think I have one extra hopper, just on the way it worked out. But so I've got to be careful on how I'm doing it. Do that. So, as I was saying, this may not be the most efficient way of doing this. I'm sure there's more compact designs. I'm sure there's just designs that better utilize, you don't need as many hoppers and things like that. But in order to set this up how I wanted it to work, I couldn't figure out any other way to do it. And so, yeah, I welcome you guys. If any of you want to give me feedback on, better ways to accomplish some of this stuff, I welcome that feedback. And maybe if I get some really good feedback, I'll change up what I'm doing. If I get some feedback that I really like. Where is? Alright, so I need just some blocks here. I had birchwood's the most wood I had, so we're gonna use that. I don't want to use dirt. I don't know, it'll just look bad, so don't want to use dirt, but let's throw some blocks in here. Oop. Alright, so there's a number of this is gonna be fun. So we've got, where'd that wood end up? There we are. So what we want to do, so the basic behavior of this is, so I need more chests. I forgot about that. I need 2 more chests. I used more than I thought I would need to. Save this for building. I'll use this for... so we need a couple of chests here. That should be right. And so what we'll do is... I'm done with hoppers for now. Well, for a second at least. What we'll do is I'm going to throw a double chest here. So we will fill this chest up with all of our resources. But, so let's say I want to smelt up this wood. Okay, so we put a half stack of wood in here. And so what we want it to do is we want it to filter to all of these evenly. So we put 32 in there. I want 4 pieces of wood, logs in each of these. But what we're going to find is that with this current setup, it's just going to go to these 2 main furnaces here. And that's not what we want. We want it to spread out evenly among all of these furnaces. And so what we need to do is some fancy redstoning in order to make that happen. So, give me 1 second. I want to recheck my schematic just to make sure we're doing this properly, and then I'll catch back up with you guys. Alright, yes, we are doing it right. So, what we want to do is, because currently if we put something in here, it filters straight down to these, straight down, right into these 2 furnaces. What we want to do is lock this bottom row of furnaces so that instead of feeding straight down into this, they won't be able to feed into these because these are locked, so they'll feed, to the side. And so that's accomplished pretty easily. What we need to do is throw some redstone here. Basically, a strip of powered redstone right next to a hopper will lock that hopper. And need my comparators. Don't need this axe anymore. So what we need to do is we need to throw a comparator here and a comparator here, and then we're going to need a block here and a block there, and another block here and a block there. Alright, so throw some redstone here, redstone there, and then we need a torch here and a torch there. Alright, so what this is doing here now is essentially locking these until an item reaches here, and then this kicks on, which turns off this torch, which unpowers this strip. So let me show you what that's going to look like. We'll throw. It doesn't matter. Let's throw this dirt into this hopper. Something is wrong. Let's see, we gotta check. Yeah, so we got some random junk clogging up the system. That's the problem with building around hoppers, although I don't think that's the issue. Let me let's take this dirt. Okay, give me 1 second and I will figure out why this isn't working, and I will get back with you guys. Alright, thanks. Alright, so why it wasn't working is because I did it wrong. I had the... Let's see, where do I have it? I think I had the torch here. And what I needed to do is have it on this one with a block above it, which would feed to this power source here. So basically... the torch is here, right? Yeah. And before, the comparator's signal was not feeding into the torch because the torch was over here. So fixed that. So basically, we'll throw the dirt in here, and you'll see what this is happening. So one block filters through, and once a single block gets here, it powers the comparator, which causes this to fluctuate. So that's letting through one block at a time. It's filtering throughout this entire row, one block each, then it dispenses, which will give us, well, what we want to see here then is 8 blocks, because that's how it should split. But there's a problem with once this chest is empty. Let's see. So they made it through here, and they got dispensed to here, but then this kicked back on. So within this here, we can go around the front. There should be a block in each of these, right? Because it got locked too early. So what we want to do, we've got 7 in each of these right now. Just to show you real quick, we are properly dispensing. But we need to... Oh! Hey, buddy. We need to account for this locking before this will dispense. So what we want to do is we need to create a check here. Let's see, where are my comparators? There they are. A check here which will allow us to, once this chest is empty, it'll unlock it. So once the chest is empty and everything is in the system, it'll unlock and let whatever's in the system flow through. And it's only going to do that, you know, when there's one block left, right? Because the way it feeds out. So we want to have this so when the chest is full, right? Well, I don't want to waste any more experience. So, well, okay, no, let's do this. We'll throw some iron in there. So when the chest is full, these are powered, right? And so what we want to do is we want to throw some of these. Yeah, and I knew it. I knew I hadn't made enough torches. I think I need 3 or 5 more. We'll just make 5 just to be safe. Oh, darn it. We're gonna start cooking on some of this stuff maybe. So we put some torches here. So these have gone off. It's same theory as over here. So we want to know when the chest is empty, not when it's full. So these will turn on when it's got something in it, which will turn these off. And so I made some slabs here. what we want to do is, now let's see, where is this gonna go? I need my dirt. Well, I put my dirt away. We will put this here. Okay, and then we will do that and there. Okay, that's what I needed. So what we need to do is we need to run a signal, from these. And what we want to do is we want to run them down to right there. I believe I'm doing this right. Yes, I think so. So we run this down to here. I need my sticky pistons. Thank you kindly. And we're going to put a sticky piston there. Ooh! I'm lucky I made that jump. The lag kind of grabbed me there for a second. I wasn't sure that was going to happen. Alright, and then I'm going to put that there. And this here. And redstone signal here. So, by default, when the chest is empty, these pistons come out. So they shoot out and they block this signal here. So the signal's coming from this torch into this redstone, which feeds down into the line that shuts off the hoppers. We are turning that off by moving this piston here, so that, let me clear out the junk here. Alright, so basically what that, oh, and see, there we go. That's what I didn't want to happen. Take these sticks, take this, that'll feed into the proper place. Alright, so we've got everything out of the system here, right? So basically, alright, should be good now. So, when we put something in this chest here, which our access is getting a little screwed up here, but so we'll put 64 dirt in here. So what we'll see, we get the fluctuating. There's something in the chest, so that turns off these torches here, which depowers the pistons. And you saw the pulsing, signal just as before. These come back on when the chest is empty, which re-extends the pistons and unlocks the system. So we should see. Oop. Uh-oh. Oh, something went wrong. Awesome. Let me be right back. Alright. Yeah, something stupid. I need to actually look at my schematic when I'm doing this. I've built so many of these now in my testing, because I've been tweaking this for a while. That some of this earlier stuff I know off the top of my head, and so I need to actually look at my schematic. So what I forgot to do was right here I need a torch with a single tick, I believe. And then let's see, make sure that works, just to delay this signal, because otherwise it shuts it off quicker than it should. Doesn't give it time to filter through. So one last time, let's throw this in there. Get the pulsing every time one hits the end here. And we'll wait for the pistons to re-engage, and then we'll check. Okay, so we've got 8. And actually, I'll collect these over to us. 8, 8, 8, 8, and so on and so forth. So that's working perfectly now. Now it is filtering these down evenly across the furnaces, which is exactly what we need it to do. And so basically, at this point, we have a functioning furnace. But I didn't want to just stop there. I didn't want to just have this furnace be functioning, because a lot of the ones I've seen, they don't have a very clean way of putting input into the system. I don't want to have to go behind the scenes into the guts of this system in order to, you know, climb up here and put something in the chest and all of that. I wanted to do something where, you know, I'm going to put a clean facade on this, and I wanted to be able to, from the front of this, I wanted to walk in, there's going to be some doors here. I wanted to walk in these doors, you know, throw some stuff in, and have the system go. This is obviously our output, so we've got some iron here. And so I didn't want, you know, a lot of the systems, like one of the systems, I'll link it in the description, was made by Generic B. He's pretty awesome. He's good with redstone and all that. And so there's a lot of similarities in this system currently to his system. I took this ticking thing from him, which I think he took from Code Crafted anyway. But what I wanted to do is I wanted a little bit cleaner way to access this. And so the way we're going to do that is a way that a lot of people have abandoned in terms of auto furnaces. Once the hoppers and things came along and comparators, they kind of abandoned the use of minecarts. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use minecarts. So let's see here. No, that's not right. I need that there and that there. So what we're going to do is, again, and this is probably where it gets to not being the most efficient system you've seen, because I wanted to use minecarts mainly as a convenience thing, and just because I wanted to make a system that used minecarts. So what we're going to do is, let me get all my rails here. We're going to, so we're not doing anything fancy here with the fuel dispersion. All of this is the input. What we want smelted. And these hoppers are what feeds in the fuel, but we're not doing a fancy system here for fuel. You could, but I didn't want to. This way works well enough for me. It is not the most efficient system. I'm telling you that right now. It's not foolproof, but it works well enough that I wanted to use it. So let's see, we got that there and that there. Here we've got we've got this and that. Put that there, and then we'll put these here. And those there. So basically, this isn't how this is going to work right now, but let me just show you what'll happen. Or this isn't how it'll work in the end. But so we've got the minecart here. It goes across the track, and with this way it'll bounce back and forth basically forever. I'm gonna have to set up some way so these guys don't spawn in here, so that they won't disrupt this, because if they walk across the track and get in the way, it'll ruin everything. But basically, if a chest minecart goes across the top of a hopper, it will distribute its load. So this will only take in fuel. I guess we can count wood as fuel. So let me. I want to put. Well, no, I want it to stop down here. Come here. Okay. So there we go. So I'm going to put this wood in here. Obviously, it won't distribute perfectly because it's... oh, that's not going to work. There we go. Because it's not a perfect, you know, it won't... It's only 31. So we'll put that there. It'll go across the top of those hoppers, and it's going to distribute the fuel that's in there into the hoppers underneath, which will distribute into the furnaces. So basically, you get a pretty decent distribution. The ones on the corners seem to get fewer drop-offs. I haven't figured out exactly what the issue is there with that. But for the purposes of what we're doing, we're using lava buckets, so there's only going to be one in here at a time. So, you know, I'm not super worried about that for this particular system. I missed this one, I guess. So that's why I say it's not the most foolproof. there, you know, if you're going to use wood or coal or something, you may want to find a more foolproof way to do this. But for the purposes of lava buckets, where we're only going to have one entity in there at a time anyway, it works pretty well. So let me, did I get it all? Yeah. So I'm going to stop this. Nope. So there we go. Wait for this to come back. Pick this back up for now. Oop. All right, well, whatever. So I'm going to. What we also need to do. Okay, so let me get this started, and then I'm going to break because this episode's getting long, and what's going to happen here in the next second is going to be tedious. So it's better for me to explain it after it's happened, than you know, have you guys around while I'm doing it. But basically, what we need to do. I also want a minecart to fill up this chest, and so. Obviously, these minecart, and let's put this one back together. These are only one chest, so that we've got double chest here, so we won't be able to send through double chests. It's a sacrifice I was willing to make in order for, you know, this to work. So what we need to do, we need to run a track up to this. We need to put another hopper here, so that the track will sit on that, it will feed through that hopper into this chest, and then what I want it to do is once it's full, or once the minecart is empty, I want it to come back and sit back at its waiting station again. So I'm going to knock that portion out, and then I will meet back up with you guys and explain to you kind of what's going on there. Alright guys, see you in a second. Alright guys, so we are ready to roll. So basically the system is essentially done. Let me come up here real quick. Oh, I can't do that, that's right. So the system is essentially done. I need to put a facade on it because I'm obviously going to clean this up. I don't really want to look at all this mess. And I've got to connect these carts to where they're going to end up. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what we did here, and then I'll break again and put the facade on, and then we'll see how it goes. But so basically, got some stuff going on here. So we had the chest, and so now what happens is this cart here will get filled up. It'll come up this track. It'll come up this track, and it will come to rest right here on top of this hopper. So when the chest, when the chest hits, so this is here, basically because this is currently powered. So without this, the cart would come up here, hit this, and go right back. This is enough it powers this, which sends a pulse through here and turns this off long enough for the cart to get there and for this comparator to activate, which shuts the system off until the cart is empty. So let's quickly fall here. Let me grab 2 stacks of cobble. I'm gonna throw them into here. Alright. So there we go. Oh, I'm missing a track here. One second. Come on, out of the way. There we are. Okay, so it's made it up every test. There we go. So it goes up there, and hopefully I put enough in there for it to. So basically what this does, it comes up there, this comparator reads that there's something in this hopper, it sends a signal to shut off this track, and then it also sends a signal down here to lock these hoppers. So this chest is filling, but it's not continuing on into the below hoppers. Because of the way this feeds into this, the even distribution mechanic only works if there's like more than one, piece of product in there at a time. And because of the way this filters, I've got to lock these hoppers until this cart takes back off. So we've got to fill this chest up, and then once this chest is full, so that one emptied, it takes off. It's going to come back because now I've got that track down there. But so that now the cart's empty, so when it comes up, this comparator doesn't read anything being in there, so it sends it right back off. And so now, since now this took off, so these are unlocked, they're filtering through. We can see the pulsating of the redstone as we were seeing before, and now everything's done. The pistons have reactivated. So when we look at it here, 16, 16, 16, 16, and so forth. It is evenly distributed, those two stacks, across these furnaces. So that's pretty much it. I think I explained everything. So let's get rid of this. And so normally I wouldn't have this set up where it would keep going over and over again. Normally I'm going to have it set up over here. And so I'm going to quickly do that now. I'm going to put the facade on here. Really, all of the guts and mechanics are done. I'm going to bring this one around to up here. I'm going to take that one around over to the other side. So I'm going to do that very quickly. And then once that has been completed, I will bring you guys back. You guys can see the finished product. We'll roast up a stack or two and call it a day. So I will see you guys again in just a second. And Alright guys, so I finished, well I didn't finish, but I put as much of the decoration up as I can right now. I'll probably play with it as we go forward, but let's head on over here and take a look at what we've got. Okay, let me block this off real quick so we can do this in peace. So I think this is kind of nice looking. I don't know what you guys think, but I had gathered a bunch of quartz before and I put on this little facade. Yeah, so I mean, I used some quartz and some clay, some more expensive materials than I've used previously. I'd gathered a bunch of clay and quartz, so I figured why not, let's go ahead and do that. You know, and pretty much just threw on this facade here. We've got, you know, you can see everything right behind there and things like that, so it covers it up pretty well. I don't know. I kind of like it. And so I hope you guys do too. But I figured we'd do a quick test run here of the system. I've got everything all rigged up. So the chests come up in here. This is the one for the fuel. Got it all loaded up. Then I've got one for the materials to be smelted here. I've only got a couple here because of the way the system's set up and with it needing to filter out of the minecart into the chest before it starts filtering into these. Normally I would run all of this, but I didn't want to, for the demo with you guys, I didn't want to have to do that. So I'm gonna get this one going. So I flick that switch, it rolls off and goes up through the track. Send this one off. I'm going to leave that one on because it'll come right back and then I want it to go back one more time just to make sure that it's properly distributing. But we should be able to check here and... Alright, it must have just been lagging or something because I didn't do anything and they've all come in now. So it must have just been lagging or taking a second to cycle through. So yeah. The materials finished filtering out, and they're in here now cooking, and so we've got, you know, the lava from these buckets comes out of the buckets, and then you get the buckets back, so you're not wasting tons of iron, and then the materials that's melting starts coming out here. I'm gonna, since this is going, I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the rest of this. I'm gonna keep this stack. Send that off because I want to get that cooking for my later project, so I'll just get it going now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This will continue to cook down. Once that filters out, it'll filter into the system as well. And that's pretty much everything. This will cook, each bucket of lava will cook 100 pieces. So, so it's pretty efficient. And lava in the Nether here is pretty much a renewable resource. I mean, there's a finite amount, but you know, if you keep walking, the Nether keeps generating. So, pretty much free smelting this way. If you don't take into account everything you spent to build it. And I probably did spend most of my accumulated value on this project. Most of my iron went into these hoppers and other things. You know, most of my quartz and clay as well. But I think that it was pretty well worth it. This is a project that's going to help me a lot out gathering materials for future projects. And I really didn't have any other plans for these materials that would have been better served. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to kind of probably AFK here and let this cook, or I'll probably actually head over to the blaze spawner and let those guys accumulate, get some blaze rods and experience over there. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think of this. Really interested to hear your feedback. And if you guys have any suggestions on things I could do to make it better within the realm of what I want to do here. I mean, obviously, if I take out mine carts and, you know, run back there and fill in chests, it might save time in the filling process, but I don't want to do that. This is kind of how I want to do it, nice and clean. You know, this is all blocked off. You don't have to see the guts at all. You just kind of put the stuff in here and it goes. And that's how I want to run it. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'd love to hear your feedback on the project, and yeah, I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.